Briefing. Today has been a pretty big day for anti-trans legislation in Arizona. I was going to live stream simultaneously on Instagram and these platforms, but just went live on Instagram first, and now I'm here on Facebook and YouTube. So today saw, very unfortunately, the passage of both SB 1138 and SB 1165 through the Arizona House of Representatives. That means these bills are going to be headed to the governor's desk in the coming days or weeks. And this is nothing short of a pivotal moment for trans rights in Arizona. So these two bills, SB 1138 and SB 1165, are discriminatory bills and they need to be stopped. SB 1138 restricts gender affirming care for trans youth. It interferes with standards of care decided by medical experts. SB 1165 bans trans girls from competing in girls' sports. So, what we're asking people to do today in response to these bills is to write to Governor Ducey asking him to join Republican leaders from Utah and Indiana in vetoing anti trans legislation. It only takes a few seconds to send a letter with our online advocacy form. So you can go to equalityarizona.org/action and send that letter right now to ask Governor Ducey to veto both SB 1138 and SB 1165. We're also asking people to share your message to the governor online. So what that would look like is recording a short video asking Governor Ducey to veto SB 1138 and SB 1165. And then to post that video on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and tag us, Equality Arizona, and use the hashtags Governor Ducey, veto SB 1138, veto SB 1165, and protect trans kids so that we can find your video and amplify your voice. I want to talk a little bit about why these bills are wrong for Arizona. So, with SB 1138, the issue is that by crafting state law to restrict the medical care of a really specific population, it's setting a dangerous precedent. Standards of care evolve, and they need to be decided by experts and not the legislature. Codifying today's standards of care, which isn't exactly what this bill does, but even if it did, codifying today's standards of care could mean that as transgender health care improves over time, and it's always improving, doctors would be kept from following standards of care and put at odds with their industry boards. This is an unnecessary bill, it's unjustified, and it comes at a time when many families are worried that the decisions they're making with doctors, with psychologists, teams of medical professionals to support their children could place them in legal jeopardy. This is something we're seeing with really terrible effect in Texas and other states, and we don't want to see it happen in Arizona. Like SB 1138, the student athlete ban SB 1165 also discriminates against a very small minority. In fact, in the past 5 years, only 16 trans students, both boys and girls, have appealed to play in high school sports in Arizona through the inclusive policy that the Arizona Interscholastic Association created. And that's out of over 170,000 total student athletes in our high schools. That's less than 1% of 1% of athletes. We already have a policy, this policy I just described, that ensures fairness for all students when trans kids want to participate in sports. That policy is working. I think that's clear. Rewriting sports policy at a state level by the legislature to ban just a very small number of girls from sports is unjustified and would have drastic unintended consequences for all girls. The strict standards of scrutiny that SB 1165 would create for gender are going to make it harder for a lot of girls to feel like they can compete without unfair suspicion, without invasive accusations. It'll contribute to a culture of bullying that will diminish the quality of school athletics for all kids. So, what we're asking you to do today is to write to Governor Doug Ducey, asking him to veto SB 1138 and SB 1165. It only takes a few seconds on equalityarizona.org/action to send that letter and to ask him to veto these bills. You can also record a short video asking him to veto SB 1138 and SB 1165. And if you do, post it on social media and tag us at Equality Arizona on Instagram or Twitter. And that way we can amplify your voice. So this is not a moment any of us were hoping to be in, but it's the moment we're in, and it's a moment for us to take action. If you want to join us for a volunteer phone bank, we're having a phone bank on Saturday at 3 p.m. About these bills, and you can sign up at equalityarizona.org/events. Thanks for tuning in.